Good evening, everyone. This is John Caldwell. You know me best as Jammin' John, the host of Jammin' John's Wrestling News. I have a big announcement in the professional wrestling world to announce to all of you. As of this recording, it is 3:27 a.m. A couple of hours ago, I learned through a friend of mine on Discord that Matt Hardy has made a new video on his YouTube channel. I checked that out, and he has announced his retirement. For those of you who do not know, Matt Hardy has been suffering from his back and his pelvis fusing together, and over the course of a couple of weeks you have seen on his Twitter profile these little teasers of a retirement, and now it has come to fruition. He has retired from the professional wrestling world, and he also announced in the video that he was going to be a full-time father to his children and that he was going to spend more time with his family. It's a bittersweet ending for Matt Hardy. It's going to be horrible to see him leave professional wrestling, something that he's been in for 26 years. But it's also good because I think he won in the end because he's spending time with his family and he's going to be an amazing father to his two kids. I first heard of Matt Hardy in 2001, and it wasn't from watching WWE on TV. In Christmas of 2001, I got a PlayStation 2, and the second game that I ever played for the PS2 was WWF SmackDown Just Bring It. In that game, that was the first time I ever knew who Matt Hardy was, and the first time I ever seen Matt Hardy. During that time, he was a part of the Hardy Boys with his brother Jeff. Of course, he was with Lita as well, who was his actual real-life girlfriend. Team Extreme. Man, oh man, I love Team Extreme. They were amazing. I first seen Team Extreme in the flesh in early 2002 when I first started watching WWE full-time on television as a wrestling fan. And I absolutely loved Matt, Jeff, and Lita. I thought that Matt Hardy and Lita was such an amazing couple. I loved the little feud that Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy had around that time. And my favorite wrestling match of all time is the WrestleMania 17 TLC match for the World Tag Team Championships between the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian, and the Dudley Boys. Edge spearing Jeff Hardy as he was clinging onto the titles will forever be burned in my memory, and that is my all-time favorite match. I also love when Matt Hardy went to SmackDown and he became Version 1. Of course, you had the little entrance gimmick where it was like a webcam, and you had these little trivia facts on the webcam that said, oh, Matt Hardy's favorite video game was Vector Man, or Matt Hardy hates pineapples on pizza. No disrespect to you, Pineapple. You know I love you. But it was such an original thing. New theme song, later became Cruiserweight Champion. I love seeing him on SmackDown and Velocity as Version 1. I can't tell you how many times me and my friends done the V1 logo, and we had no idea that it was an inappropriate gesture. I also love the feud between himself and Edge. And for the longest time, I didn't know that that feud was actually a real-life feud, and that he was going through troubles with Lita. I stood by Matt Hardy's side during that time as a fan, because I knew that that was a horrible thing that he had experienced, because I had been through that myself. In 2007, whenever I had joined MySpace for the second time, I found out that Matt had a MySpace profile. So I sent him a friend request, he accepted it, and I remember during those days, he was pretty wild. He was drinking, partying, living it up. And I also remember that he had this love for this damned hot tub that he had installed in his house at the time. And on his About Me, on his MySpace profile, he had a playlist of the top 10 songs that he listened to when he was in the hot tub. And the number one song he would listen to in the hot tub was Set Adrift on Memory Bliss by PM Dawn. Which at the time, coincidentally, I was listening to that song a lot, and it instantly became one of my favorites. So I thought that was pretty cool that me and Matt had an awesome taste in music. Also around that time, I found out that Matt, along with his brother Jeff and Shannon Moore and a guy named Champagne, were doing a little show for YouTube and the internet called The Hardy Show, which was kind of like a reality/sketch series for the internet. And I tell you, it's one of my favorite shows that I have ever watched. If you have never heard of The Hardy Show up until this point, please go on YouTube, Watch a couple of episodes of it. You will love it. It is so hilarious. It is so real. It is so truthful. That's also, if I'm right, I could be 100% wrong on this, but I think that is where Eachweed, Jeff Hardy's alter ego, first gained popularity. Because this was way before Eachweed appeared in Impact Wrestling. And I can tell you, back in those days, Eachweed was more wilder. Of course, my favorite Hardy Show episode was Eachweed's Crib. I can't tell you how many times I laughed my ass off watching that. It's just so hilarious. Go watch that if you've never watched it before. Eachweed's Crib, The Hardy Show. Matt also had a time in his life where a lot of personal demons were getting in the way. But of course, all of us have had those demons once in a while. It really inspires me and it really influences me how Matt Hardy was able to pick himself up and continue to go on no matter what happened, no matter what bad thing happened. I mean, think about it. After his mother died at a young age, after the girl that he thought he was going to spend the rest of his life with cheated on him with his best friend, after being released from the WWE and struggling to make ends meet, having a lot of personal problems, being told that he was too overweight and that he couldn't work, Matt proved everyone wrong, and he proved those demons wrong, and he picked himself up, he reinvented himself with the broken Matt Hardy character, he found love in Rebby Sky, had 2 beautiful children with her, and became a huge star in Impact Wrestling and on the independent scene. Then, out of nowhere, he got the call to go back to WWE and be at WrestleMania with his brother Jeff, to where they received a huge ovation. A lot of you would probably call that a pop. Matt said in that video that that moment meant so much to him. And I tell you, I choked up whenever I watched it live. It was incredible. Matt Hardy was blessed once again to have the opportunity to bring his broken Matt Hardy character to WWE as Woken Matt. The character became so popular again that the Ultimate Deletion, similar to the same segment that he had in Impact Wrestling, was in the main event spot of Monday Night Raw. Can you imagine? A character that you created, their own segment, is the main event of Monday Night Raw. That is amazing. So in the end, I think that Matt Hardy won. Now, he gets to spend the rest of his life with his family. Yes, it's sad that he will no longer be wrestling after 26 years of being in the business. But what is amazing is that he gets to spend the rest of his life with his family. He gets to be a father to his children. I wish Matt Hardy the best of luck in this brand new chapter that he's about to embark on in his life. I thank him for the 26 years that he has given to the professional wrestling business. I want to thank him for inspiring me to continue to push on, and I hope that he is able to not suffer from any pain with what's going on within his back and his pelvis. Thank you so much, Matt. There will never be another in the wrestling business like Matt Hardy, because he's simply version 1. I'll see you guys tomorrow with the results of Hell in a Cell. This is Jamin John. Good night, everybody.